Our heartfelt congratulations are offered to our new Chief, Kristen Chilton.
There is the obvious, she's a woman. In fact, she's the first woman ever to be named Fire Chief of Lexington. But if you ask her, being here was never part of her plan.
I was the only child, so all my little siblings were always pets.
Come on in.
Being here was her passion.
Hey, kitty kitties! And I dressed them. My very first cat was a solid black, long hair, and she got dressed in doll clothes and got put in doll strollers and all kinds of stuff.
Right now, she's working 14-hour days as chief.
So, I love you. I'm so proud of you.
But the reason she's in the business of saving lives is because she spent her life saving these.
So what do you want?
Get me 0.25 of the splash block. 'Cause we've been through some squirrely situations before, and she's always kept her head.
Kristen Chilton is a certified vet tech.
In fact, sometimes I feel guilty that I haven't paid her.
Dr. Liz and Chilton have known each other for 15 years, taking care of animals all over central Kentucky. They giggle a lot, but that's what happens when you've been through a lot.
Sometimes we have good moments together, sometimes we have sad moments together, and sometimes we have fun together, but we still all work together to get what we need to do to get the job done.
Because she's watched her take her passion for helping animals and apply it to helping people.
Thank you.
Chilton says when she realized the schooling that would go into being a vet,
I'm right here.
she decided this class was a better fit.
And this is my class. 10.
10 left from your class.
10 out of 26 left. Yep.
She says being chief wasn't something she aspired to.
Engine 5 and 220's on, show me 97.
It's the trucks and front lines and the brotherhood she loves.
But I saw a really cool t-shirt not too long ago, and it highlighted the word brotherhood, and in the middle of the word brotherhood is her. And it was her, and it said that within brotherhood there is her.
And for her past 23 years with this team, she's experienced the good and the pain that comes with service.
But it also shows you that even with tragedy, there's recovery.
It's been some time now since she's fought from the front lines, climbing a different ladder that keeps her behind a desk.
You have to do the work to support the people on the line that are still doing those jobs, because you have to do this to allow them to do what they do. But you don't feel like you're really making a difference in being a member of the fire department anymore. And that's a really hard transition. It's necessary, but it's really hard.
And she doesn't have as much time to spend back here, where she says her job parallels her hobby.
She's the one who taught me buggy means ambulance. I didn't know that.
Inside this room, this badge doesn't make sense. But once you know the story behind it, you realize that the person wearing it is helping, which is exactly what she's meant to do.
And then he will wake up here shortly.
Take a walk with him, and it feels like a celebrity sighting.
Good morning, how are you, baby?
doing?
Yeah.
Go in an operating room with him, and it feels like a classroom.
That's the cystic artery right there. That's the gallbladder.
Students come from other states to listen.
So there we are getting the duodenum off.
The lecture is blunt.
And then Dorkweed over here is supposed to push up, but she's not doing her job.
He didn't hold back.
The little son of a bitch cuts into that thing, and then it takes you half an hour to stop the bleeding. Looks like it's good. There it is right there.
Even though he knew our camera was rolling.
Is Miranda still chicken?
If Dr. Paul Carney has a filter, it's hard to find.
Can you guys bring that camera up for me a little bit? Because my assistant's fat head is in the way.
They give it back to him.
Do I have to do everything for you?
Yes, dear, I'm the doctor. Doesn't look like you're getting rid of any smoke to me.
What does it look like?
No one in this room, though, would want to be anywhere else.
Certainly from our standpoint, he's one of our heroes.
He's also one of the most awarded and experienced surgeons the University of Kentucky has ever seen. And he's here, removing a gallbladder for free. Surgery on Sunday is a nonprofit that mends people's bodies. Ironic that the man running the show was trying to mend his own career. The University of Kentucky won't allow him to operate there anymore.
This is an instance where two independent panels of doctors, his colleagues, 16 doctors all together, reached a unanimous conclusion when they looked at the evidence and decided to make this move.
The question you got to ask yourself over and over again is why now? It's why now?
Why do you think now?
There's only one reason. I questioned the authority and the management of money at KMSF.
In 2014, Dr. Carney asked the board of the Kentucky Medical Services Foundation for an independent audit.
It's a lot of money. It's $220 million a year. That's a big business.
KMSF is a foundation that handles the billing for UK doctors.
Is there mismanagement of money there?
No. It's audited financially every year. The doctors themselves run the practice pay plan, pay the bills. They bring in an auditor every year. It's included in the university's audits every year. It's all above board. It's all in the open. So no. I think that the smokescreen that Dr. Carney has raised, because he's got 20 years of abusive behavior that's caught up with him.
A couple of months after Dr. Carney asked for the audit, he was put on paid leave and eventually pulled from doing surgery.
So the easiest thing to do is to vilify me and create a story about rogue physician, 20 years of unprofessional behavior.
UK spokesperson Jay Blanton says one of the few mistakes the university made was not getting rid of Carney sooner. Carney gave us his UK personnel file, his yearly reviews going all the way back to 1988. He moved up the professional ladder and landed as the head of trauma surgery at UK. But throughout the climb, there was a theme of behavior issues, sprinkled at the end of mostly rave reviews.
If you're in a trauma situation where there's life and death, somebody's dying right in front of you, and you're directing a team, it's like being in combat. It's like people are shooting at you.
UK countered with their own records of instance after instance of what they consider inappropriate behavior during that same time frame.
And think about it from a practical aspect. You can't have an environment, a work environment, where people are afraid, where they're feeling like they're going to be abused. What kind of health care are they going to provide then?
After he asked for that audit, a patient and more staff came forward, questioning, yet again, Carney's professionalism.
And how do you apologize? You go down and say, oh, I'm really sorry. I was really nice to the nurses, but I'm sorry your loved one's dead.
It wasn't long after Dr. Carney's 26 years of surgery were in the books at UK. 29 teaching awards, endowed chair.
Being good with a scalpel is not an excuse to treat people abusively.
We're now going to divide the artery.
He's had time to reflect. Who he is who he was made to be. His father was a doctor too.
He said, you have to remember, son, that the very qualities that make you a good surgeon might also make you an asshole.
Was he right?
I think you have to be somewhat of an SOB, yeah, I do, to be a good one. Now, do you have to be one all the time, 24/7? No, that gets you nowhere. There we go.
This patient will probably never know the caliber of surgeon that fixed her or the story surrounding his departure from UK. But one thing is for certain, she's better now than when she came in.
Well, what'd you think? Pretty interesting?
Yeah.
This river's always used.
Really busy yesterday.
Yeah.
People living on the Kentucky River aren't used to seeing investigators on the ramp.
I have never seen a boat dumped in that ramp in a year. Yeah. Usually that bank there, I can watch, and I got wild turkey running all over. That's the first boat I've ever seen dumped down that ramp.
Larry Stevens watched as fire crews, Fish and Wildlife, and police officers searched the river.
They're going down the river. I think they're dragging. I think they're running drag lines.
I've lived here all my life. I've been in floods and everything else. And you need to respect the river.
Sherry Hopper worries the kayaker went underwater because of a larger boat's wake. Fish and Wildlife say the case is still an open one. Right now, they aren't releasing a cause of death.
When you're a little boat like that and all the boats that come up and down the river, you need to be careful where you're at on that river. If I was in a boat like that, I'd stay close to the side.
They're still looking. There's something else still in that water.
They worry the man found may be one of their neighbors.
Even the people over here in the houseboat, they've got kayaks. We'll see them out here, and they come up here.
Too.
And they got the kids, they'll come up here and they'll play on the bank and swim and play and then go back to the houseboats.
In Franklin County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.